Welcome back to some more Tsumihoroboshi. So, from where we last left off, Mion's group, aka the Sonozaki family, and the group of cops, especially Oishi, was a bit of a prick at times. But, being an old little coot, of course. They're, I think they were able to come to a negotiation. Not to mention all the scrapbooks from Mio Takano were all collected. Except that there was one missing that Rena currently have. So don't want to summarize anymore. You know. Also, Mion's mother looks kind of hot. I don't know the detail between this graphics and then the PS3 one, but oh well. Don't want don't want to be like that. Anyway, let's continue reading. Before I went to bed, I headed to my window to close the curtain. Oh, this is Keiichi's perspective. I saw the shadow of a person near the porch. Who could it be so late? Well, I didn't have to guess who it was. There was only one person I knew who might come see me so late. Let me guess. Is it Rena? I opened the window and looked more carefully this time. I was right. It was Rena. Oh shit. I don't know about this one. I have a very bit of a suspicion. She was just standing still under the light. I wondered how long she'd been there for. It didn't look like she was going to ring the doorbell. She was just standing there. She seemed to be asking herself whether to ring the doorbell or not. For how long has she been hesitating in front of my door? It looked like even standing was giving her a hard time. She looked very tired. I ran down the stairs, put my sandals on, and rushed out of the house. No, don't open the door, damn it. Oh, you go right to get. Rena looked surprised to see me, even though I came out after making a lot of noise. Rena? Is that you? Rena! No words. She looked relieved to see me for a moment, but then she soon glanced downward and looked sad again. How long have you been standing here? I don't know. Maybe since the sunset. Rena must have been staying somewhere outside for the last 2 days at the very least. And it wasn't like she'd been camping for fun. How do you stand near the house after so long without exhausting your own legs? She'd been in a state of high tension the whole time, believing that someone was trying to kill her. Rena looked utterly exhausted. She seemed to have taken care of the deep scratch she made on her neck the other day with some large band-aids. Yeah, well, I highly doubt that even worked, but sure. The band-aids had cute pictures, but that only made the wound on her neck look more painful. Jesus. I saw some band-aids soaked with blood on her arms and body too, and I could tell she made them herself. She had more scars than she had last night. Anyway, let's go inside. You haven't eaten anything for 2 days, have you? When I tried to take her in the house, she refused with a vague expression on her face. It wasn't that she didn't want to go into the house, it was more like she had to refuse because she thought she didn't deserve it. I can't take any more. Even at this moment, the maggots are moving through my body. It itches really badly and it feels like they're about to come out from everywhere. Rena, I think you had some kind of disease. Why don't you get some rest here and we'll go to the clinic first thing in the morning? He understands your delicate situation, so he'll see you in private. No, I know it. I know exactly how Tomitaki-san died. I'm trying not to do what he did for as long as possible. Rena believes she was given some kind of suspicious drug that made her claw at her neck to death just like Tomitaki-san did. She had convinced herself that it was going to happen. She wouldn't hear anything else right now, but she really wanted somebody to help her. She wanted help, but when someone tried to give her a hand, it looked like the hand of the devil. If this was some kind of disease, what a horribly depressing disease it was. Well, I don't know how I'm going to die, but I don't think I have much time. That's not going to happen. Yeah, you don't say. You're a member of our unbeatable club, Rena Ryugu. You're not going to die so easily. Thanks. Well, I wanted to say sorry before I die. Sorry? For what? Yesterday I said terrible things to you, and I hurt your feelings. She must be talking about last night. Oh boy. She trusted me, but when Oishi-san told her about my past, she felt betrayed. And after that, everything I did out of goodwill seemed like the opposite to her. I know what it's like. I once felt the same way about you, Rena. Well, before I moved here, I did many horrible things too. A lot, actually. Really? I don't know. I didn't know. What I did is beyond comparison. You just shot someone with a toy gun. I hit somebody's head really hard with a metal baseball bat. Everybody got hurt really badly. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said the word retard, because both did their bad sins. Hurt really badly, and I also broke the windows in my school, and I know, but I don't care about any of that. You did that before you moved here. That's why you stopped being Reina Ryugu and became Reina after you moved here, right? To me, you're my best friend who's very kind, thoughtful, and fun. That's the most important thing. I don't care what you were. I don't care who you were before. So, I was way worse than you were. I have no right to say you're not my friend. I felt the same way too. Question mark? I I was afraid of you because I heard about your past. Oh, you knew. Reina laughed sadly. She seemed shocked to find out that I knew about her history when she thought I didn't. But I was like, so what? Eh? It doesn't matter how bad you were before you moved here. You've been through ups and downs with tears and laughter, but since you moved to Hinamizawa, you've been living a proud life. The important thing is that you regret what you did. That's all that matters. You've grown up to be a respectable person. I don't care about your past. I should have noticed it earlier. Reina is Reina. That's why she's Reina Ryugu. I couldn't understand that simple thing when she... I couldn't understand that simple thing when she said she wasn't Reina. You heard about my past too, right? I was pretty bad as well. I was such a brat. I regret the stupid things I did. So, I thought moving here was a good opportunity for me to start over. I believe I've been the person I wanted to be since I moved to Hinamizawa. Isn't it the same with you, Reina? It doesn't matter how you lived in Higurashi. The important thing is that you're Reina Ryugu. You wanted to be in Hinamizawa. So I don't care about whoever Reina Ryugu was. Yeah, yeah, you're right. We can start our life over as many times as we want. We might make a lot of mistakes and hurt ourselves, but that lets us become the people we want to be. You fall once or twice in your life, but that's life. We can't let that beat us down. We have to keep growing. So, I was such an asshole for getting scared of you because of your past. Well, at least you admitted it. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. When you go through a lot of pain, you can be kinder to others. So, I don't need to know your past. And even if I knew, it shouldn't have changed the way I treated you. But we were fools. We couldn't understand that until we went through things like this ourselves. Mion knew that from the beginning. We were such fools. We hurt each other, and we made each other cry. So, Reina Ryugu is and will always be my best friend forever. When you have to go through a hard time, I'll help you no matter what. Trust me on that. Thank you. I trust you, Keiichi-kun. It's very tragic, but what she said isn't true. She probably didn't mean to lie. But I knew she didn't trust me from the bottom of her heart. My words didn't reach her. I knew that because Reina kept telling me to trust her that time. She kept saying those words while I kept hitting her with the bat. But they still didn't reach me. I don't think I have much time left. But I'll try my best to save Hinamizawa because wonderful people like you live here. No, Reina. I'm not going to let them take over this village. I'll fight so we can regain the peaceful days we had. I'll defeat their conspiracy. She said that she trusted me, but she didn't understand anything I was saying. Even if I kept telling her that the conspiracy was Takano-san's delusion, it wouldn't reach her. Well, I guess this is fucked. Thank you, Keiichi-kun. Thank you for forgiving me. I do. I forgive you. So please forgive me for what I did to you. I'm going to save Hinamizawa, I promise. So, Keiichi-kun, will you help me? I trust you. Only you, Keiichi-kun. We can save Hinamizawa together. Rena. Rena! I knew how bad of a corner Rena was driven into. If I was her, I'd be walking around with a baseball bat thinking every single person around me was my enemy. Rena cared about me so much, but I saw her as my worst enemy. But Rena, you still trust me, even when you're driven into this bad of a corner. I couldn't understand what you were saying. I beat you to death while you kept telling me to trust you. But you're different. You still trust me? You are so... Why are you crying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll never betray you. I trust you, Rena. So, please forgive me. I don't know what you're talking about. You've always believed in me, Keiichi-kun. So I trust you too. I can trust you, right? You're the only one who trusts me, right? Tears fell from my eyes. I sobbed and nodded again and again to answer her. Tears welled up in Rena's eyes too. Before I knew it, we were putting our foreheads together with tears in our eyes. Well, I found a way to end this battle. Really? Yeah. I might not stand a chance, but this is the best and only resistance I could think of. Rena, I don't know what you're going to do, but if you do that, we can regain our happy days, right? No words. We can, can't we? We have to, or I'm not going to let you go anywhere. Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. It's going to be a come-from-behind victory, and we'll regain our happy days for sure. I don't know what she had on her mind. It began with a delusion and will end with a delusion. If I encouraged her too much, she'd twist it into an attack on her. I was like that at that time. I took Reina's goodwill as the complete opposite thing, so I stopped denying her story. This was Reina's battle. It was her only lonely battle. She had to fight against her own delusion. The more we tried to help her, the more we drove her into a corner. But I would always be there for her. Oh, ain't that special. Whenever she needed help, she could reach me. I wanted to let her know that, so I just said one thing. I'm on your side until the very last moment. No matter what, I'm on your side. Even if I told her to trust me, I knew she couldn't right now. I knew that, but I told her those words anyway. Even if she couldn't believe them, and if she tried to smash my head in, I'd say those words. I'd keep saying them until I die. Thank you, Keiichi-kun. Everything will be over tomorrow. We'll win, for sure. And then we can play around in the club together again. With everyone. We'll return to our happiest times. Although she wished to regain our happy times so badly, I couldn't get rid of the darkness that controlled her mind. Oh, it is over. It is doomed. We can't convince her. It's like close to a 0%. Well, I have to go now. I have to get ready for tomorrow. To tell the truth, I didn't want to let her go. I wanted to stop her even if I had to grab her arm. But I couldn't stop her like that. If I grabbed her arm, she wouldn't trust me anymore. Wait, Rena, what do you have to do to get ready for tomorrow? It's a secret. I might ask you for help later. You'll help me when I do, right? Of course. I nodded strongly, so she could tell that I was still on her side. But I didn't know that what her come-from-behind victory meant at this point. Come from behind? Sounds like an ambush to me. The first thing I could think of is that she was going to invade the house of the Sonozaki family, which she thought was her enemy. So I called Mion to warn her after Rena left. Mion laughed bitterly and said, "Why does everybody want us to be the bad guy so much?" But she understood the situation. It'd be easier if we really It'd be easier if we really did act like the bad guys. Hey Keiichi, maybe you should shut that door. It might be better if we tied her down and took her to a hospital. Well, that's one way to do it. If it comes to that, I guess we have no choice. But I want to believe her until the last second. She still had the strong heart to trust me no matter how badly she'd been driven into a corner. She's not like me, so I'm sure she can defeat her delusion. It's hard for this old man to understand what you and Rika-chan have been talking about these days. Did anything serious happen lately? You can say it happened lately, in a way. I killed Mion a couple days after the festival. I'm sorry I've been talking crazy lately. Anyway, please don't lose confidence in Rena, alright? You know I won't. Anyone can catch a cold of the heart sometimes. It just happened to Rena this time, and that's all. Well, she had a relatively high fever, but I'm sure she'll get better soon, and we can laugh about this later. It's not as bad as you think, Kei-chan. That silly Oishi admitted his mistake. Well, no shit, he's a freaking bitter old man. He doesn't even know about you-know-what, so we'll just say Rena overreacted a little bit. This will be over. Really? You really think you can do that? Did you forget that I'm the next head of the Sonozaki family? I have both the skill and the power to do that. This old man had a meeting with Oishi at the restaurant today, and we cleared up all the misunderstandings. Oishi was shaking in fear the whole time. Hey, I'm pretty good, don't you think? Mion bragged about her achievement, laughing loudly. I could tell she was exaggerating a little. Anyway, compared to the sense of impending doom Rena seemed to be feeling, the others seemed to be taking it rather easy. It was all up to Rena now. If she understood everything, she could go back to the peaceful world she wished for. We were waiting for her to reach out to us. Just like we did by the abandoned car at the garbage dump that day. Rena, I couldn't win, but I know you can, because you're the one who told me to have faith until the end. So I know you can win. That didn't mean that she could literally win the last battle she was talking about earlier, but Rena would win. She'd win, and she'd regain her peaceful life. We are around 18 minutes in. Look at that. Oh, it's a new tip. Last night. And it's playing this sad music. And I got an achievement. Let's see, what kind of... Let's see how many achievements I have at the moment. So, according to this, there's 3 achievements left. And so, I assume there's one more achievement to read through. Alright. We're getting really close to the end of the game. Chapter 12, mind you. Alright, let's look at the new tip. Last night. Tomorrow is the day. Oh, you mean the day we die? It's going to end up the same way this time, just like the last time. I don't know about that. It's been very similar to the last one, but there were some things that were different too. Keiichi remembered what happened. That's impossible. There's no way he could remember. I mean, there's no way he could know. The more you say that, it's absolutely impossible. The more it makes me feel like this is a real miracle. There's nothing we can do. It's going to end up the same way again. I'm not sure about that. Yes, it will. Everything will be over. When did Higurashi cry? Was it all going to end anyway? The more often you throw a die, the closer the total will get to the average. When you throw a die 100 times, even if a miracle happens, and you get a 6 twice, or 3 times in a row, the total will average out in the end. That's a fact of statistics. But when you throw a die 100 times, the total number ranges from 100 to 600. The more you throw, the greater the likelihood that the number will converge on the average. But the truth is, the more you throw, the more possible outcomes you create. There are 500 different futures you can create by throwing a die 100 times. There are 5,000 different futures you can create by throwing a die 1,000 times. There might be one future among them that enables you to actually finish this never-ending game of dice. Keiichi showed me a miracle, and it taught me that it's not a waste of effort to keep throwing the die. Wow. What is this? The talk of RNG? Of whether you solve the case and make it the very perfect happy ending? I mean, man, don't give in to something like an average. No words. You think we'll never have a different ending, don't you? I can tell because it's written all over your face. No words. I think so too. I think we're going to have the same ending this time again. But I'm not going to give up hope until I throw the die for the last time. Keiichi taught me that. Something is going to be different this time. I'll try to believe in that. Rika, you're a very strong person. Yeah, I know. That's because I'm a lot younger than you. Yawn. Rika? Meep. Why are you still awake? Yawn. It's not good to stay up so late. I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep, so I was just looking at the stars. I'm going to bed now. Please do. Good night, Rika. Good night, Satoko. Oh, so this was a conversation between Satoko and Rika. The talk of RNG. How much tips have we go through? Oh my goodness. Alright, well, were we 21 minutes in? Let's continue. Oh, why not? Let's get that over with. 21 minutes feels a little bit too short, to be honest. Oh, well. But yes, we're finally on the last chapter, thank goodness, man. Walking with only me onto school made me miss Rena a lot. What's wrong, Kei-chan? Why are you looking around? What? Oh, nothing. It was the same old path to school, but I felt nervous for some reason. I wondered what Rena meant when she said she was going to win a come-from-behind victory last night. I couldn't stop feeling like something dangerous was going to happen. Rena thought Mion was one of her enemies. She could be lying and wait to attack Mion with a knife. Don't worry, Rena isn't going to do something as rash as that. Even if she does, I can protect myself. Mion said it brightly as if trying to tell me she wasn't afraid of anything. Oh boy. But I couldn't be optimistic like her, because I knew exactly what Rena was going through. I mean, considering she has a hatchet, I wouldn't be surprised. Rena must be determined by now, and she probably wouldn't mind dying fighting against Mion if she wasn't going to win anyway. Of course, that didn't mean she was definitely going to take violent action, but I couldn't deny the possibility either. This old man is more concerned about the reason why Rena went crazy all of a sudden. Was there any reason? I remembered the tragedy. I couldn't remember what made the world go crazy, but I remembered we got lost in that awfully scary world. It started with small things, and those small things continued to pile up one after another. If you thought about it calmly, you'd laugh because it was really a stupid thing. But once those little tiny stupid things started to bother you, you couldn't ignore them. It was that kind of disease, if you could call it one. But there must have been a reason. There must have been a reason that made the world go crazy. But it must be such a small thing that you couldn't even notice. And unfortunately, the reason was very difficult to understand, and you wouldn't be able to figure it out until you died. I have a relative who is a doctor. He said that if you have a tumor in specific parts of your brain, it can change your personality, make you a totally different person. People who suffered from this disease used to be considered haunted by devils or possessed by foxes. People dramatized it like it was something occult. You mean Rena is suffering from a physical disease in her brain? In her case, it might be better to say that it's a mental disease. Rena was upset and mentally unstable because of the murder of Rena and Tepe. At a time like that, that stupid Oishi told her about what happened to Tomitaki-san in an exaggerated way. I think Oishi-san and Takano-san's scrapbooks have many things in common. Really? Like what? Well, he believes in the series of mysterious deaths of Hinamizawa, but that's a delusion, isn't it? I mean, something actually did happen for 5 years in a row, but I think there is no series of murders in the first place. It was true that the mysterious incidents happened 5 years in a row, but they were each solved individually. It was the same as the past you didn't need to talk about. Oh boy, a puzzle. We thought of them as a series of mysterious deaths, which is why we thought something was going to happen this year too. It led us to think that there was a conspiracy, and that the Sonozaki family was behind it. We connect those things to the series of mysterious deaths, but we shouldn't do that in the first place. Just like I tried to keep my distance from Rena when I found out about her dark past. Wasn't everybody trying to keep their distance from the dark past of Hinamizawa? Takano-san's scrapbooks are a good example. She dramatized both recent incidents and old cruel history, and she made feasible stories out of them, saying that the Sonozaki family was behind it all. Oishi-san did the same thing too. He was so convinced that the Sonozaki family was behind it all that it was making him interpret things the wrong way. In that sense, we could say Oishi-san believed in the same delusion as Reina. I think the Sonozaki family is partially accountable for that because you guys act like you're behind it every time something happens. In this village, people think it's the doing of the Sonozaki family whenever something strange happens. It's like a magic word that makes everything settle down. It's like those people who say they can explain all phenomena in this world with plasma. Oh, and what's that supposed to mean? Are you saying all of this is the Sonozaki family's fault? Exactly. It's all your fault. So, I'll call you Plasma Meon from now. Plasma Meon? That sounds like a freaking sci-fi nickname. Holy. That sounds like a wrestler's name. Nah, man. The fact is, I'm pretty sure the wording plasma means something sci-fi related. Well, I like professional wrestlers. Hey, Kei-chan, do you know what abdominal stretching is? Stop. I don't want to wrestle with you in this freaking hot weather. No, that hurts. Stop. Oh, shit. Good morning, Keiichi-san. Good morning. Satoko and Rika-chan looked a little sad when they saw only the two of us. If the three of us came to school together like always, they would have been really happy. But our classmates were as noisy as usual. Nobody seemed to make a big deal about Reina's absence. Chie-sensei was going to be here soon, and she'd start mourning homeroom. Everyone was fooling around as if they didn't want to miss a second of the time until then. Hey, something stinks today. Close the windows. Silly, it'd be hotter in here if we do that. It smelled like gasoline or something, and it really stank. Someone from the forestry service must have been putting gasoline into the construction equipment or something. Some students near the windows were making a fuss because they wanted to close the windows to shut out the smell. Wow, you don't got like something to like keep the smell away or what? Shut out the smell. Our school wasn't a normal school compared to others. We were using a part of the forestry service building. Unusual things like this happen sometimes. This is nothing. I remember they once brought a few big piles of juniper branches. That was awful. It had this distinct irritating odor that gave us all headaches. What's a juniper? Meep, that's the name of a vegetable. We sometimes put it in curry. You should look for it next time you go grocery shopping. Huh? I know little about vegetables, but it sounds like it would be better to make Rika and Keiichi-san taste it first, just in case. What? Our ball is missing. You hit it again, didn't you, Hojo? The boys seemed to be looking for their ball for a while, and they yelled at Satoko. Why would I hide such a stupid thing? If I was going to hide anything, I'd hide something better than that. Hey, Chie-sensei is coming. Everybody take a seat. Hello, everyone. Get to your seats. And it ended just like that. I kept thinking about Rena the whole time during class. I thought about what she'd said last night. I wonder what her come from behind victory means. According to Takano-san's delusion, the masterminds behind the bioterrorism were the three families and a group of fanatical believers that controlled those three. In other words, the Sonozaki family. What could Reina do alone against them? Mion lived with her grandmother, the leader of the Sonozaki family. There were only two of them in the house. It was possible that Reina would try to break into their house with a knife, but I'd already come up with that possibility last night. That's why I called Mion and warned her. On the way to school this morning, Mion told me that some bodyguards from the corps had been at her house since this morning. She told me she'd be guarded herself too. There was a black car parked near the school gate. They must have been the bodyguards. But according to Takano's parasite theory, the battle wouldn't end just by attacking the leader of the Sonozaki family. According to the delusion she believes in, the conditions of her victory were more complicated than that. She needed to expose the group of fanatics who are behind the Sonozaki family, and she needed to destroy their research on the parasite. Plus, Reina didn't have much time left, thanks to that suspicious poison she mentioned. But how exactly could she win a come from behind victory under circumstances like that? Is the come from behind victory is that is she also gonna kill Keiichi or what? I'm confused by this come from behind victory because it sounds like she said she's gonna ambush someone, but by who? Like at the last specifically though. She might interpret that the town council are the group of fanatics. If so, she might attack them the next time they have a meeting at the shrine. The town council meets once a month at most. It would be hard to believe that they were holding a meeting today. She probably thought the place researching the parasite is the Irie Clinic. Rena suspected that there was something fishy about the clinic from the beginning, and that suspicion must have changed to certainty in her head by now. Did that mean she was going to attack the clinic? This wasn't like an action movie. What could she do all by herself? Was she going to start a fire? No, that would be pointless. In order to expose the conspiracy, she'd have to get proof that they were actually studying the parasite. Was she going to break into the clinic and get questionable, weird samples? The last problem of all was how much time she had left. If she believed she didn't have much time left, especially under desperate, disadvantageous conditions, she might try to stab whoever she thought of as an enemy. But Reyna sounded like she really believed she would regain her happy and peaceful days after everything was over. Reyna probably meant she was going to stay alive and win. Was there something like an antidote? It didn't have to be real. As long as it was an antidote to Reyna's delusion. It didn't matter what it was. It could even be the water you washed your vegetables with. What? Water? Don't you wash vegetables with vinegar or something? I don't know. But if she thought she could get the antidote so easily, she wouldn't have been so desperate about the time she has left. The antidote must be difficult for her to get. The easiest place for that, in her delusion, was that it was hidden somewhere in the clinic. Putting it all together like that, I felt like Irie and his clinic were in danger. Now that I thought about it, the elderly people in the village, including the members of the town council, hung out in the waiting room at the clinic all the time. If most of the board members happened to gather there for her, it'd be the perfect place to attack. I told Mion about that during lunch break. If this were a normal situation, I'd say she wouldn't do such a stupid thing, but I can't actually deny the possibility. I'm going to call my house. I'll make sure that they send some people to the clinic. Mion didn't object to my crazy idea. She put down her chopsticks and went to the teacher's office to make a phone call. It sounds so dangerous. I can hardly believe Reina-san is going to do such a scary thing. Are you sure she's going to attack the clinic? Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But if that happens, we're screwed. Yeah, we're fucked. We need to prevent that disaster. We need to prevent that disaster from happening. I hope nothing happens at all. Yeah, well, you can't Can't underestimate her, you know? Okay, I'll send 2 of our subordinates to the clinic. I don't think she'll do it, but you'll never know what's going to happen. Can we capture her by force if she does? Honestly, I don't want to do that. What do you think we should do? We made an agreement with the cops that we're going to give Rena Ryugu to them after we give Rena oh man. Give Rena Ryugu to them right after we find her. So even if we use force to capture her, we won't get in trouble. Oh man. Shit gets serious when I stumble upon words, right? I'm not worried about losing face, I just feel sorry for Rena. I really want to settle this calmly, if possible. Well, she's still young, so as long as she didn't kill someone or something, all she has to do is to apologize and everything will be fine. Well then, she might be out of our hands. Oh, I mean, as long as they don't find out about it, she'll be safe. She'll definitely be safe. Nobody really cares about the disappearance of those two anyway. People think that they ran away somewhere because they did something wrong. Those things happen all the time, so she's fine. Don't worry about it. She's out. She's safe. What? Are we playing baseball now? Anyways, please just be careful. Will do. So it's okay to capture her by force, right? Don't make any mistake. You have to get her. Please don't make it like a chase scene or anything like that. I couldn't help but have a silly chat with Kasai-san. When I put the phone down, I sensed Chie-sensei was looking at me. No wonder, as she had been able to hear the conversation clearly in this tiny room. Chie-sensei put her spoon down and, with a sad look on her face, she asked the following. Were you talking about Ryugu-san? Ah, yes. Sonozaki-san, do you know why Ryugu-san ran away from home? You're close, aren't you? Oh boy. It was hard for anyone to understand Rena's situation, except for me and Kei-chan. So, most of them thought that Rena just ran away from home. But after she did, the cops made too much of a fuss over it. Oishi stupidly believed that the scrapbooks were a big scoop, and he overreacted in trying to find Rena. He had patrol cars running around everywhere in the village. He even used the town council's phone directory to find her. So, people in the village thought Rena did something wrong and was trying to run from the cops. What was going to be difficult for me, more than finding her, was to make up a story to retrieve Rena's honor after they detained her. What about this? Rena went for a walk, fell down and hit her head on the edge of some toku, and lost her memory. Oishi misunderstood something big time and he thought she was a criminal. It was too easy. Anyway, we did make it clear that Oishi was the one who misunderstood everything at the meeting the other day. Tofu lost her memory. What an alibi. I had to make the best use of his name while he was feeling down for once. What I'd have to do was to not make a big deal about the situation, and to create an environment that allowed Rena to forget everything that happened in order to get her life back together as soon as possible. Everything's going to be fine, Chie-sensei. Rena is a little sick right now, that's all. A fat cop. Fat cop. Somehow made a lovely mistake and got things twisted around. Oh, excuse me. You don't believe that Rena did something wrong and that she's trying to run from the police, do you? Of course not, but making her family worry by running away from home isn't a good thing to do either. Fat cop. Me on talking all that shit. She had a fight with her father and she ran away from home for a little while. She acted childish, and that's all. Maybe that'd be the best story to go with. I wonder if she had some problems she couldn't talk to anyone about. I must be a bad teacher because I never realized it. I wish I could have sat down and talked with Ryugu-san before all this happened. Chie-sensei, you're taking it too seriously. You need to relax. It's normal for young kids nowadays to run away from home for a while. Oh no. What am I going to do if Ryuga-san becomes one of those bad kids and starts doing really bad things? Oh. I don't even know how you pronounce that, but sure. Ryuga-san becomes a bad kid. She does something bad and gets arrested by the police. It's her teacher's responsibility. I'll be dishonorably discharged. I can't eat curry anymore. What? I can't even read what it said. Oh, I'm dead. Oh no. Oh no. Can't eat curry anymore and then you're dead. Is this a what are, is this a way of like adding something goofy in there? Holy crap. Oh no. Chie-sensei seemed comically upset by her own imagination. It looked funny, so I decided to leave her alone. I made to leave the teacher's office to go back to the classroom, but right then the phone rang. Hello? This is the Hinamizawa branch school. Chie-sensei had to answer the phone all day today because the principal was on a business trip. Alright. Well, yeah, let's end it from here. So, next part. Let's try and continue the rest of this last chapter. And then after that, there is the bonus part that I gotta record up. Maybe I can say some update here and there. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one.